Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to, cut through the clutter and really distill what matters from a whole stack of sources. Our goal, simple, to get you up to speed thoroughly but efficiently. Today we're doing a deep dive into Palantir, that's PLTR, looking at its recent pretty dramatic stock movements and what that might tell us about the whole artificial intelligence market picture. We've pulled together info from, well, all over Investopedia, Barron's, FT, AP News, even Fujitsu Global, all current as of today, August 19th, 2025. We want to unpack not just what happened, but what it actually means for you. And it's kind of a paradox, isn't it? A stock with huge growth that just had a really bad day.
It is, and that immediate shift really highlights something core in tech markets right now. It's this constant tension, between the day-to-day market mood and the underlying long-term story of a company. Palantir's situation is, I think, a perfect example of that. Sometimes strategic wins get lost in the short-term noise.
Right, that whiplash, that tension you mentioned. Let's dive straight into what that looked like for Palantir today, because wow, the headlines were stark. The stock fell, 9%? A 9% drop. That's its worst single day since May.
Yeah, worse in months. That's significant.
Definitely. And it was actually the worst performer in the entire S&P 500 today.
Oof.
Yeah. And this caps off a 5-day losing streak. Adds up to about a 12% drop in just that short period. The main worries seem to boil down to valuation. Is it just too expensive?
That's the big question hanging over a lot of AI stocks.
And you've got prominent short sellers like Citron Research weighing in. They're suggesting fair value is maybe closer to $40, which is quite a bit lower than where it's been trading.
Yeah, Citron's known for taking pretty aggressive short positions. That $40 target is definitely sending a message.
And the analysts, seems like they're cautious too. Most are rating it just hold, not buy.
It's really fascinating how fast that sentiment can turn, isn't it? Because if you connect today's drop to, the bigger picture of Palantir's year, the contrast is just huge. I mean, even with this recent fall, the stock's still up over 118% just since January.
Wow, 118% year to date.
And get this, over the past year, it's up roughly 409%.
400%, okay.
So that earlier growth, that explosion, was really fueled by two main things. Massive enthusiasm around AI generally, and Palantir landing some really significant government contracts. Their data platforms are key there.
Okay, so that's the Palantir-specific picture. But you mentioned broader AI enthusiasm.
Yeah.
How much of this recent dip is just Palantir, and how much reflects something bigger happening in AI stocks generally?
That's a great question.
Because our sources suggest it's not just Palantir.
Exactly. We're seeing a wider sell-off in tech and AI stocks. Even the big names like NVIDIA have been hit.
NVIDIA too, okay.
Yeah, it suggests there's a kind of waning confidence maybe, doubts about whether these huge AI-driven rallies can keep going at the same pace.
And there was that MIT study mentioned in the sources. That seems pretty crucial here.
Oh yeah, that definitely poured some cold water on things.
It found that, 95% of organizations aren't seeing any real return on investment from their generative AI projects yet?
95%. That's a staggering number. And when you see data like that, it naturally makes the market more cautious about the whole sector. Are companies really adopting this stuff effectively?
So that really raises the question about the hype cycle versus actual practical adoption, doesn't it?
Absolutely. This sharp sell-off, it points straight at those valuation worries. And you see short sellers getting more confident. It feels like a shift in the broader market mood, like the initial AI momentum is fading a bit as people ask harder questions about real-world use and, ROI. That 95% figure, it just hangs there. Makes you wonder if the value proposition isn't quite proven yet for many, or if it just takes more time.
So we've got this picture: market doubts, valuation jitters, questions about real ROI across the board. But hang on, it wasn't all negative for Palantir, was it? There was that Fujitsu deal announced. How does that fit in?
Ah, yes, the Fujitsu deal. That's where you see that duality really clearly.
Duality.
Yeah, on one side, you've got the market reacting to macro sentiment, valuation fears, short-term stuff. But on the other side, Palantir is making these specific strategic moves, like this deal with Fujitsu.
Okay, tell us about that.
So Fujitsu signed a licensing agreement with Palantir Japan. Basically, Fujitsu gets access to Palantir's AIP. That's their main AI platform.
AIP, got it.
And they plan to integrate it into their own business operations. This isn't just some off-the-shelf AI. It's Palantir's platform designed for complex enterprise data. That's a big part of its appeal.
And this is a big step for Palantir, strategically.
Oh, definitely. It marks a major expansion into the Japanese market, and they're apparently planning a global rollout with Fujitsu in fiscal 2025. So it shows that while the stock market might be choppy day to day, the company is still building out its business, signing deals, and pushing for actual AI uptake in large organizations.
Right. So you absolutely have to look beyond just the ticker price sometimes.
You really do. These foundational business developments tell a different, often longer-term story.
So bringing it all together, what does this mean for you, the listener, trying to navigate this sometimes confusing AI landscape? It really highlights that tension, doesn't it, between the market's quick reactions, maybe sometimes overreactions,
Yeah, driven by sentiment and headlines.
versus these underlying strategic moves that companies are making, which might take time to actually bear fruit.
Exactly. The immediate payoff isn't always obvious on the balance sheet or the stock chart right away.
Well, this deep dive into Palantir today certainly shows just how many layers there are, right? You've got the market mood, the whole sector trend, and then these very specific company actions that can seem almost contradictory day to day.
It absolutely does. And it leaves us with a really important question for you to think about. In this whole race for AI dominance, how do you, or how do we, tell the difference between real, solid adoption and just market hype? Especially when you see companies like Palantir making these long-term strategic plays right in the middle of all this short-term market churn. What does a genuine return on investment from AI actually look like to you, beyond just the stock price swings we see every day? Something to really mull over.